They are here. So if you saw my last video, which is probably up here in the card, I have a film camera now. I was given it. It's probably about 30-year-old and probably hasn't been used for 25 years. Probably sat in a cupboard for that length of time. It may be a bit broken, I'm not sure. It was all about testing it out, and that camera is the Olympus OM10 with a 50mm lens on the front. I also have a 80-200 Vivitar lens, so there should be a few shots using that in here as well. And just for a laugh, I'm actually going to see what the results are, and you'll see my reactions to them in this video. Because what I did, I got the film developed, scans made, and I've got 6x4 prints in here as well. Quite excited to see how these have turned out. You know, this is really just a test roll just to see how the camera works, if there's any light leaks and things like that. But also it's my first roll of film for 20 odd years, and my first roll of black and white film ever. So I'm really not knowing what I'm expecting, because it's black and white. I've never shot black and white film before, so I don't know if it's going to come out contrasty, if it's going to come out quite flat. Let's say I have had scans made, which obviously I'll hopefully tweak a bit in Lightroom and stuff like that, just to enhance things. And maybe the way I was possibly imagining how it might look, but it might look fine straight out of camera. A few caveats first. Well, I've already said one before anyway. It is an old camera. I have no idea if there's any light leaks, so there might be a lot of, I don't know. Obviously, if there's light leaked in, then there will be problems throughout the run of images. Also, there are marks on the lens, within the lens, whether it's mildew or scummy stuff, but in between the elements in the lens. So I don't know how that's going to affect it. I also don't know if the camera needed to be turned on during capture, whilst I was photographing, because the amount of times I had it switched to off. Or I don't know whether it needed primed every time you took an image. I don't know. It's all new technology to me, but old technology. So there's a few issues like that may crop up. But yeah, hopefully things is going to be okay. So, moment of truth. Let's open this package up. I got these done. These developed at AG Photo Lab here in the UK. I think they're based in Coventry. I think that's where I sent them to. So what do we have here? We have an empty box which can go in the bin. Oh, we have a pack with previews on there, so I can see already things have come out. Right, you are. There's a CD ready for putting into Lightroom, and a new packet ready for the next roll of film. Good market employ that. Send you a free packet ready to send your next roll of film in, and then they'll get some more. And in there are the negatives, them old things. Ooh, yes, negatives. I remember them. Lovely jubbly. Right, let's have a proper butcher's, even though I've had a quick gander at the front of them already with the bit preview. So we'll just open these up. So we have a cover sheet, and it says there's 37 shots on there, so whatever that means. Right, and oh, we are starting back to front, so maybe I should turn these over. So we're doing it in the order that I shot them. So let's have a look at number one. Oh yeah, that was and that would be my ceiling in my office. So we can probably jettison that one. Next up we have, ooh, right, some birch trees below the tenantry column in Alnwick, just below, next to opposite Barter Books in the local town. Not as contrasty as what I was thinking. Right, okay. Next up is said tenantry column from Alnwick, built many moons ago when all the tenants liked the Duke and actually paid to have that column built. Wouldn't be happening these days. Nobody likes them. And as it's coming up to Armistice Day, that is the War Memorial in Alnwick. This is all these things are pretty much within about 10 paces of each other. These shots. Initial thoughts on that. Again, not very contrasty. The skies actually, you know, using digital, you always find that the sky kind of, you know, blows out very quickly. And also, I don't know whether it's my eyes, whether because I've got the studio lights on, but it's quite sepia toned, this, rather than straight black and white. It might just be my eyes though. Next image is of the Bondgate Tower in Alnwick. Some big lump of stone from the something like 12 medieval times. And right, this is a bit different. This is so we've got Alnwick Castle there from distance, and this one's come out a bit faded. So whether that's, I don't even know how film cameras meter things, because it's, the foreground's quite light. Obviously all these are shot at f1.8, all the 50mm ones are shot at f1.8 because the lens is broken and stuck at f1.8. So a landscape shot, but it's retained a lot of detail in the clouds, which is quite good. There's just that, it's like almost like a hot spot in part of the image, which is quite strange. Film photography, who knew? Although it could be probably it'll be a light leak, won't it? Yeah, because this one as well. This one you can see another shot of Alnwick Castle, but also there's looks like a hair on the print, and it does look like light leaks. There's streaks, so something to be aware of for the rest of them, maybe. But I was facing straight into the sun, so I don't, maybe it's not light leaks. It might just be reflections off through the lens. Another one of same scene, slightly different composition. I think I was focusing on the tree, that one. Dog, will you shut up? Said dog who I've just been shouting at. There we are, picture of Finn through the window. This is the view that usually greets me anytime I've been out of the house. So he did actually manage to stay still long enough to not be blurry. Okie dokie. Came alright. Came out alright. Came in focus. Quite happy with that. That flaming dog! Shut up! Good God! He's annoying. Oh, another shot of the dog, and this one is out of focus because he wouldn't stay still and came towards me. One of the disadvantages of a manual focusing camera. I am used to shooting stuff with autofocus, especially moving animals, because they are more inclined to walk towards you. Annoying bloody things. So yeah, he is out of focus, but not to worry. Also didn't help that it was stuck with f1.8 as well. Hey ho. And we have a cloud. So there we go. Cloud, sunset time. I don't know whether it's the print or, I know it's ISO 400, but that's, detail wise, that looks quite noisy. And same time, same dog walk. Another scene looking over my pretty much over the top of my house. Birds in the sky at sunset. You can't actually see the birds. It's not too bad. My mic setup in the in my office here. That's using the 80 to 200 Vivitar lens. That was kind of taken inside. Obviously, everything's quite wobbly, and I was trying to stay as still as possible. Wasn't happening on there. And so we've got Tom in the village building his new extension. It's come out all right. Again, 50. I mean, I know this was shot with at 50mm, but I did kind of imagine that it would be a little bit closer in. Next image is it's basically a shot of my house. My house is there in the middle, and that's just playing with the depth of field, really. Getting in low behind the stone wall. And this time we have some cows. There's some cattle in the field. And you know, good even exposure. You know, I think that's the thing, you don't get blown out skies. Which is easy done in digital. What's that dog barking at now? And we have, see, this is a one that I thought would be a lot more contrasty, because the way the sun was beating down on it, I thought that grass would be coming out quite white, and then the tyre tracks in the field would be quite dark. So this is one I would probably be looking at increasing contrast and stuff on, because I really like the curves and the S-curves of the tyres there. So yeah, that's one that hasn't come out as I thought it would, or I hoped it would. And again, this is another one where I was kind of looking for contrast. This is just a fence in the village, and I thought that would be a lot more contrasty, because what I was really looking for on there was the shadows on the timber fence, which are at points, but then again across the image here, this area here, it's a lot like the shadows are a lot lighter there than what they are here. So that might be light leaks, that might be sun interacting with the lens. Don't know. And we have another picture of the dog. Again, not staying exactly still. But then again, you know, what you can do, it's not digital. And this one, I think we do have a problem with contrast on the right hand side and lack of contrast on the left hand side. Because if when I put this up, you'll probably be able to see, but you see it's contrast is a lot more here than what it is here. Now this image here is a scene of the trees of probably one of my favourite shots from last year, which I thought I would revisit in film form. And in fact, last night's live stream, I edited this exact scene at the end of the stream. It looks not too bad on that shot. It's a black and white scene. Again, maybe I'd be looking to add a bit more contrast, deepen the darks down. Actually, I think this one, this is a, same scene, slightly different. I think maybe it's a bit closer in. I don't know whether this one's a little bit sharper, whether I've done a better job of focusing it. Happier with that one. And another scene from nearby. Some birch trees. It's come out alright. Maybe it's a bit lighter than what I thought it might. Again, maybe something I can bugger about with the scans. Right, next one is, see, this isn't a film problem. This is a me not knowing what film does problem. The leaves left on this birch tree were beautiful in colour, obviously. Were beautifully lit up in the sun. Contrasty blue sky behind it, but obviously black and white. I would need a colour filter to go on the front to make the most of this. Maybe it's a red filter. Red filter kill the black. I think red filters kind of make blues dark. I think that's the way around it does. And then that would have been a lot better. So thinking back in the old days where you would add on actual physical filters on the front of your camera, that would have ended up a lot better because the sky would be a lot darker. And again, same problem with this one. It is just trees and leaves. You know, it's not exciting. It's just playing around. And again, these shots just aren't really working. They need something else going on in them, and some better composition. Keep an eye on me edges. This one hasn't worked either. Really, this is again. I mean, I'm no tree photographer by a long shot. They just do not. I just don't get it. You woodland photographers, they do a fantastic job. I don't. This one, I was looking for the contrast between this birch tree and the pine tree behind into my eyes when I was walking past it. Looked very nice. But I having no control of what's going on, it's tricky to get the result when you're dealing with just black and white and not knowing really how the camera works as well. And then I broke. That's not too bad. It's not exactly close. I broke out the Vivitar 80 to 200mm lens and tried some wildlife photography. So here we have a swan, and getting the bloody timing right before it dipped its head was pretty tricky. But I'm reasonably happy with that one. I did do a few of these, so hopefully there's one with its head out the water. And again, this one's so it looks like a bit of a light leak on the right hand side. Bloody swan's got his head in the water again. This is, to me, I mean, it'd make a nice scene if you chop the middle out like so. But there's that light leak there. That's a tad annoying. More annoying is the bloody swan's head in the water. Oh, we've got one with a moot. But there's a big light leak on the right hand side. So, but that might be the lens. But at least I've got my swan with his head out the water. No light leak on this one, and no, it hasn't got the dynamic range in this one, which I'm not really surprised because I did face directly into the sun and the reflection on the water. I mean, it is all about experimentation, knowing what is possible and what you're likely to get. I didn't really expect anything else, but I was just kind of looking to see what kind of dynamic range there is in the film. And my first good film ICM. And to be honest, I only shot one frame of it. That turned out reasonable. Not bad at all. I mean, usually when I'm shooting digital, the sky ends up quite blown out on these things and horrible and leaves horrible streaks. But there's enough detail, and as you can tell, that's a tree trunk, surely. Yeah, film ICM. Oh, we're down at the beach now. I'm reasonably happy with that, apart from the composition maybe. Shot of the beach. And probably I would have cropped about there. Would have been nicer. Taking that area out. Just a little, and then it's got your leading line in a bit better. Quite a nice balanced image. There's nothing too dark, nothing too bright. Reasonable. And the old master itself. Big shot of Bamburgh Castle silhouette. So it's done a good job of retaining plenty of cloud there. And if you look at it closely enough, there is detail in the castle there. So it is. I was told that this ILFORD HP5 stuff is quite forgiving, and it looks it is quite forgiving, which is good. And oh, we've got a distant shot of Dunstanburgh now. That's from Beadnell, looking across the water. Not a bad result. But a lot of these are quite noisy, but then it is ISO 400 film. And Anna Castle again on a different day. I think this is when I was just trying to finish the film off. And this is a little bit out of focus, I think. With a little bit, you know, the ones at the start of the roll of film were quite flat, but this is added because I shot this in quite bright sunlight. I think it's helped it along quite a way. And the last couple of shots is the river scene looking towards Alnwick Castle, and that's come out quite nice. And same shot again, because I thought I'd already, that was the previous shot was the last shot on the film, but it wasn't. So yeah, that was probably longer than what it needed to be, but it was 36 images, and I'm reasonably happy with that. They've come out. None of them are complete disasters. They're just disasters of photography rather than disasters of technology and knowing how to use things. So that's not too bad. They've all come out. The camera's not buggered, which is good. There may be a few light issues. So yeah. So apart from you having to look at my face for the morning, hope you've enjoyed that flick through my images. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions about the camera, the process and all this kind of stuff, leave a comment below. If you shoot film yourself as well and got any tips for me, please do leave those in the comments below as well, because I am very much a novice and I have no idea what I'm doing. For more adventures in film and more adventures in ICM photography, please do subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.